In this video, we're going to add some foliage to our second landscape using the Quixel Megascans. So from our first step, I already had a variety of resources added to it. So I had some 3D assets right here, a dead tree, we had 3D plants, we have some grass. I could always find some more if I wanted to add them to them. You know, I mentioned before, I like using the collections as kind of like a good starting point of different resources that have a common theme. But you could also search for different ones. Like if I wanted some sort of plant, I could look at different plants throughout these categories. So just be aware of what some of those options are for you. Again, let's go to collections. After you find one that you like, I'll grab like another one of these rocks over here maybe, or a tree. Yeah, we'll do this, perfect. I can download it at low quality and then add it to my project. And it's now part of my 3D assets folder in my Megascans. All right, to use it on my landscape as foliage, I'm going to go to my foliage mode right here. I am then going to see there may already be some foliage populated into this setting because some of the Megascans that I downloaded was in fact foliage. So I could, if I wanted to, start to select some of these to actually add as foliage into my world. I'm single right now, I'm gonna go to paint, and if I click, it's gonna start to populate with some of this kind of like, there we go, some of this kind of grass around my world. And it's fairly subtle, but it goes a long way. Let's see if I turn on more of it over here. I'm going to increase my density a little bit, and now I'm going to click. And now it's starting to look a little bit more like a real world, right? Again, grass is kind of nice because it's not too overwhelming. It's kind of subtle, but it really adds a lot of detail when you're down here walking through, especially if we were in VR over here. Look, it's on top of my plant right there, on top of my character. As I go through, it really makes it feel more realistic. Now, some of the other objects that I selected in here, if I go to like my assets, I'm gonna go to, I like this tree over here, and I'm going to drag and add it to it. When I do that, it is going to add it to my bottom right there, and now that will be part of the crew that I can use when I'm doing my foliage. Yeah, let's see if I can select multiple and deactivate. There we go. That works better. So now I'm just as this dead tree right here, and if I click, that's a little extreme. That's kind of like a forest of dead trees. I could probably see a way we could use that, but I'm going to turn down my density and try to maybe just kind of point and click some of this over here, right? And I kind of like the idea of this maybe a little bit, that I could have this be like I'm going into this forest right here. Maybe not a ton of variety with these trees, so I might want to play around with some of the scaling settings, but either way, it allows me to create, right, and use that foliage tool to paint. You can use this for static meshes that you download from the internet. You could use it from static meshes that you made, or like we showed, static meshes from your Quixel bridge.